Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Jim Kessler. I am the Global Technology Leader for Extended Reality for Jacobs. I actually have two hats for Jacobs. My second hat is as the Visual Media Director for Jacobs. With that role, we have about 30 artists, technologists, and developers across the organization delivering bespoke visualization, communication solutions, and strategies. And combined with these two, with a global technology leader for XR role, we're looking to help provide and push technology and innovation throughout Jacobs projects and clients. I'm going to be speaking today to you on a topic that's near and dear to my heart, which is taking this new technology of extended reality and providing a way and means for clients to better understand their facilities, their assets, for project managers and construction team members to understand the nature of implementation, project phasing, constructability of projects. And that's all through immersive use of extended reality. A little bit of background on myself. I've been in this industry going on 25 plus years. I'm an architect by education, not registered, but I've always had a passion towards using innovative technologies and design philosophies and implementing them throughout the different stages of projects. When I speak today, I'm going to give a little brief overview on kind of where we're headed with things. First, I'd like to talk a little bit about what Jacobs is and how Jacobs envisions its global engineering solutions and how we have a unique opportunity to leverage an incredible and dense set of data and capabilities that ranges to the globe. We're over 55,000 employees in over 40 countries. And so it brings to the forefront a lot of different perspectives and diversity regarding not only the project style and base and delivery, but then our ability to leverage those solutions and all that integrated data and project deliverables for all clients and projects moving forward, and even the broader sense of the global environment and the world population. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our connected markets and practices. I want to walk through a little bit about some of the current projects and outcomes we have with XR and where we're headed with things. And then lastly, I want to step into a bit of a future think about what we are seeing and what we envision XR to be in the future. And with that, I'm kind of stretch it pretty wide. And as you can imagine, there's not a lot of tangible, tactical, discrete content circling that. So, but we are definitely developing a vision and approach for that in the future. So with that, I'm going to kind of walk through briefly how some of these strategies have been implemented and how we envision and how Jacobs works, because it gives a good picture to what we think about as a connected world moving forward. We have a strategic consultancy practice. It's a global practice throughout the different regions in Jacobs, and it covers a wide range of engineering, design, and connected environment type of planning and implementation. In some cases, we're delivering automated mobility solutions for UK clients. We're delivering incredible scale water resource engineering applications for Europe and for Asian Pacific regions. We're implementing a resiliency and sustainability strategy that, again, encompasses a lot of these different environments and a lot of these different project bases. And so with that scale of things, it becomes even more important to be thinking forward about how do you deliver the data and deliver the outcome. And traditionally, many documents are required as an engineering contractually obligated deliverable. And in cases, that's mostly a static set of documents. And we see that fundamentally changing in the future with things like digital twins and replica and integrated immersive solutions. So that's kind of some of the things we're going to talk about in a minute. But here I want to kind of walk through a little bit about where we are as far as all of these different services, and then we can kind of set the stage for the dialogue about how do you connect those things and how do we provide solutions that are impactful in our environment. So here now a little more of an evolution of those connected solutions, and then the actual tactical deployment and solutions as they're being envisioned currently. So we have everything from future cities, smart city, smart grids, and things like that that we're working on globally. Mobility, I did mention that a minute ago. Intelligent asset management, which is a lean into what the digital twin capability and replica capabilities are, and then connected delivery. So again, things directly like we're talking about here, virtual augmented reality. While many of these things may not be directly virtual augmented reality, and again, I'm going to show some samples that are more, let's say, interactive screen-based, but we can envision how, as technologies advance, things like holograms and other more tactical and immersed technologies will allow us to step in and provide these solutions with those tools, which inherently, I always say, turn light bulbs on. These types of technologies are the ones where, when you have a complex project, as some of the samples we're talking about here, it's not until you have that visualization, do you have something that's in front of you that tells that dense project strategy or delivery mechanism, do you actually understand and then really begin to comprehend and plan for the future. In many cases, some of these outcomes and these projects have provided direct input and value added back to the client throughout the project lifecycle. Let's start here first with a project that was a integrated visualization tool as a part of not only the design team integration, but actually for community engagement. This is a project that we did for Highways UK in Wales in UK. It was an entirely immersive 60-kilometer square area, a 10-kilometer roadway along that. And we had the ability for people to dive in and experience the entire 10 kilometers through a virtual experience. I'm going to kind of toggle through a few of these things here because I want to talk about how we developed a custom user interface. In many cases, there are off-the-shelf solutions that can provide design visualization, but in many cases, those are great for those kind of independent internal design reviews and for internal communication within the process of design. When you start engaging community or decision makers at a larger scale, that's where we found that these custom tools have come to play and have been very informative all along the lines. And while many of the process and workflow, I'm not going to get too technical on it, but is an extraction of a data set and a combination, a collaboration into a new tool, we're seeing those things will eventually be all integral in the design process and keeping one common data environment. And that's key to our process too, which we see the ability in the future is that UI, UX, user interface design, user experience design is going to be the key element in the delivery of these things like digital twins and digital replicas. So I'm going to kind of toggle through a little bit here. We kind of see the person accessing different elements of the design. Within the context of this presentation, we also had the ability to change the design. We had the ability to see the growth of trees across time, so we could see the visual impact in different areas. We also had over 9,900 independent structures modeled for this virtual reality experience. And the intent there was we could go to any individual asset or address and go directly to viewpoints from around that address and see the impacts of the environment throughout that entire alignment. So that's this project here. I'm going to fast forward to the next project. The next project is an augmented reality sample of what could be a city planning infrastructure design effort. This actually was a sample for a large-scale smart city in India. And here the intent was to start to understand, comprehend with augmented reality the nature of the future city plan. And then the tool, as it evolved, became a tool for review of actual physical lines, infrastructure at different scales, and be able to pull that apart within that environment here. You can see some toggles within that application for understanding the nature of the different elements, land uses, all the planning parameters and criteria, as well as some of the infrastructure elements. So again, a powerful way to provide a design integration and communication with an augmented reality solution. So let's go to the next sample real quick here. And this sample is a recent market ad for us, which is a uniquely placed offering called virtual event space. Throughout this period of the pandemic, we've had to evolve and change our business model and delivery as far as media goes. And this was an incredible opportunity to realize something we've been thinking about for years, which is how do we extend the connection with our communities through the use of virtual reality. In the case of here, we have the ability to take what was a traditional one-to-one physical meeting process and for community engagement around infrastructure projects primarily, but it's now broadened out to a much more wider audience. The ability to create a public virtual space where you would walk in and interact with the content much as you would in a physical school environment, library, community hall, and so forth. And now you can do this in a virtual environment. And then also what that provides is not only does it provide the broader, more engagement on a community involvement level, in many cases, we've had clients say that they receive up to 20 times the response of the community due to the ability to experience this in a virtual on their own time, in their own home or with their own devices. And then this is just becoming a more and more prominent use, and we're involving this throughout the businesses we have within Jacobs. And then these can extend to connecting, offering, commenting, engagement, media uploads, actually live event streaming, and again, the opportunity to provide a much broader connection to your audience and your key stakeholders. This next project, a really exciting project that we delivered, and has actually now been a twice award-winning project in Georgia and in the United States, is a augmented and virtual reality experience around the design and of a stream restoration project here in Georgia. This project was a project that was established and designed and implemented through Jacobs' traditional process. But as part of it, the client came to us, Gwinnett Water, and asked us to think critically about what kind of innovative solution could we deliver that helps people better understand the nature of what's occurring on that site. This site happened to be directly adjacent to a high school in Georgia, and it actually had many students that were interested in engineering, STEM and education environments. And so we came up with the idea for an augmented reality application. In this case, you can see on the table, we have a plan, a technical topography plan and construction document. And on top of that, with the augmented reality application, you're able to actually see the different elements of the design, the different pieces of the stream restoration, and how those elements actually impact the environment and will be delivered. Not only do we have the ability to see this here in on a kind of a closed environment on a one-to-one basis, but you're able to go out to the site and hold your device up and see the future of that stream restoration at a one-to-one scale. You're also seeing here now a fully immersive VR environment for desktop. We also deployed this app both on a Windows and a Mac environment, and they're headset capable. So you can now go in and experience this on a one-to-one scale. And here we're going to see a little bit of a filming on the site. They'll eventually have temporary permanent interpretive signage, which will include the AR targets, and for the ability for the community to go and explore and understand better what that environment will look like in the future. And that's actually available through both Android, the Google Play and Apple stores right now. So if you look up Jacobs Official or search for Garner Creek on those stores, I invite you to go and download and check out that application. Again, a very exciting opportunity. Students were incredibly engaged by the ability to take something you threw on the table and they didn't understand with the plan, and then to see it again come to life and see all their faces light up. And so next, what I want to step into is kind of talk through a little bit about what we've done and what we're doing, and we're implementing. There's other things that are more tactical-based solutions that we're delivering right now. Things like off-the-shelf design review integration for AR and VR. So we've got a wide range of toolkits and industry relationships. We've got industry partnerships with Epic Games and also with Unity. And we're looking to develop a variety of those solutions, as well as integrate off-the-shelf tools. And we won't go into details on some of those, but many of those are, again, third-party vendor software capabilities that allow those ability to deliver in pipeline, in workflow, design review, and with virtual augmented reality. Again, going back to kind of the future we see, the future would be something where we look at taking all of those disparate data environments throughout the design process and providing it the UI UX again through a Unity or Unreal editor experience. So that's kind of where we're going. And I'll talk a little bit about the future here. The future we see it, as I already mentioned a little bit before, which is digital twin and replicas. The idea of being able to provide, take all of that data and all the knowledge that was put forth into the development of that project and provide that in turn to the client, as opposed to the more static documentation and formats available. Something else that we've been working on, and we actually worked on with Texas A&M University, was an EPIC mega grant for immersive integrated design simulation. So here, think about taking a design model, natively linked back to the BIM model, and provide things like visual structural analysis, lighting analysis, sound transmission analysis, energy evaluation, and all of these other things through a real-time immersive environment in VR. Incredibly potent, potentially, and game-changing for the design industry. Another is real-time construction. And we can think about this as far as the augmented reality solutions with either hands-free headsets, or again, tablet or mobile-based applications where we have live scanning data being implemented and caught in a regular basis, and that being able to be viewed, again, either natively in the BIM environment or through some collaborative common environment that would allow that kind of data on current real-time situation for construction. And lastly, again, kind of really where we're thinking way out would be multiverse. And multiverse is the idea of offering an almost like an operating system level solution to clients. Holistic thinking about how they understand their assets, and that's relative to what IAM is, intelligent asset management. But thinking about we provide them with all the tools in an integrated environment that allows them to plan for the future, operate their facilities today, and better think about where people and assets are placed and used in the future, and as well as integrating digital capabilities and broader data sets to leverage for decision making moving forward. So that's kind of, again, where we're thinking kind of the exciting future of where XR can play a role. And as the technology, as we know, we're kind of very early in this technology, very early in what's going on as far as the evolution of things. And it seems to be at one time we get VR increasing in front of AR, and then AR goes back in front. And then the reason I think we've evolved to using XR is that XR really covers everything. Is we don't know what next piece of hardware is coming. We don't know what that is, but we're going to remain adaptive. And again, I think the nature of how XR will impact our future is incredible. And I think we're only scratching the surface of the capability. So with that, I thank you very much. I'm excited about it. Hopefully you've been able to glean some key information, and I'm always available to be ask questions or talk about this technology. And I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much.